Hey everybody, thanks for joining us here on 9 News Watch. We do this every week. We preview the upcoming Broncos game. I'm Chris Bianchi, and joining me, 9 News Sports Director Rod Mackey.
Let's tell the truth. We don't do this every week. We've had a conflict schedule the last 2 weeks, and the Broncos have gone back to back. So if they lose this week, because we're doing this after 2 big wins with us not doing this, we can't do this anymore.
Really?
Yes. So the Broncos have got to win, because if we do this after a 2-week break and jinx it, I'm going to feel some guilt.
So it's over.
It's over. So they need it. So if you want to see this continue, you need to really root hard for the Broncos this week.
Well,
because back-to-back weeks after back-to-backs, you blowing me off. So I was willing to do this all by myself. Say, hey, Rod, what do you think the Broncos' chances are this week? Well, Rod, I think that they're. But I decided not to do that. Bring you back in. So big game. For many reasons.
All right, well, there you have it. So
I just want to clarify.
Next week's version, maybe.
Well, next week they won't.
Maybe
lose.
I'm the jinx.
I'm going to guarantee they won't lose next week.
Okay, that's the bye week.
There you go.
So the Broncos have the Eagles, then they go to the bye.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to start things out by recapping, because I think everybody was stunned. Broncos trade Von Miller. Yeah. 10 days ago. We're recording this on Thursday before the Broncos game on Sunday. The Broncos trade Von Miller. Then they go out and have a dominating performance that, in fact, eclipses the final scoreline of 30-16.
It was honestly, Chris, it was their best game since Peyton was quarterback here. I really think that. They were tremendous. They were absolutely tremendous against a good team. This is a 6-1 Cowboys team that had won 6 in a row. Got Dak Prescott back. I didn't give them a chance. Nobody was giving them a chance. They were a double-digit underdog, and they dominated. As you said, they dominated. The score wasn't as close as the game really was. I mean, they were tremendous.
They won by 14, as you mentioned. That was really a 4-touchdown win for them.
Yeah.
Back on Sunday.
Close to shutting them out. They'd never been shut out there. 100 games in Dallas at that stadium in Jerry's World, they had not been shut out. The Broncos that close to getting done. It's funny because on the Broncos huddle, we had Jonathan Cooper on with Dalton Reisner, and we were talking about that off before the camp started rolling, and Jonathan's like, I was wondering why they were playing so hard at the end, because they're down 30-0 with nothing to play for, because they wanted to get in the end zone, because they know they hadn't been shut out. So they were tremendous. They were great all around, offense, defense, all good.
I know this is a very hard thing to kind of surmise, but what happened on Sunday? Do you think that there was a bit of a chip on the shoulder from the Von trade? What happened?
I think that was part of it. Dallas didn't play well. I'll give you. They were dropping passes left and right too. But the Broncos, they're Jekyll and Hyde. When they won those first 3 games, we're like, okay, it's the opponent. Then they lost 4 in a row after that, and we're like, okay, it's the opponent again. Who are these Broncos? Who really are they? And now it's even more confusing, because they had a great escape against Washington as they tried to give that game away, and you're still kind of, I'm not sure. But then if they play like they did against Dallas, who knows what happens? And I don't know what got into them, but it shows you they have it in them.
So they have it in them. I guess this is hard. The Broncos, I believe, are, a 2.5, 3-point favorite against the Eagles on Sunday. I think based on that, it seems like Vegas doesn't really know what to do with the Broncos either, right?
No, that means it's pretty much a coin flip game, because you typically get 3 points for being at home. So it's 2 teams that are pretty – and Philadelphia's actually been better on the road. So they have to – this game feels a lot like that Raiders game when the Broncos, which I think is the worst game of the season, because they had to win that game. If you go out and lose to Philadelphia on Sunday, then what you did last week against Dallas means nothing, because you knew that you expected them to be 5-5 going into the bye. The way those final 2 games shaped up, you figure they're going to lose to the Cowboys. You figure they're going to beat the Eagles. Now that they beat the Cowboys, remember we talked about how you lost a game you should have won earlier, which was a Raiders game. Now you got to steal one back. They just did that. If you go into the bye week at 6-4, wow.
Especially the Chiefs looking maybe not as strong as they have. It's a little early to say that.
They're right there for all the teams are right there. They all have 5 wins. They're all right there.
Yeah. I guess the question, I know we talked about this at the beginning of the season as well, but it feels maybe even a bit more enhanced right now. The injuries, though, not to be a bit of a negative Nancy here, but they do feel like they're kind of piling on up to the point to maybe not insurmountable, but it's getting tough, isn't it, Rod?
Well, the offensive line really got hit hard. We were joking about it. Lloyd Cushenberry, the poor center, in the fourth quarter is probably looking around going, who are these guys? He had 4 backups around him. Graham Glasgow going down and out for the season now. That was tough to take. That's really too bad. But When Miners has stepped up, we've seen the guys step up. That's one thing you ask about the whole thing with Von Miller. Jonathan Cooper, who was the next man up, got 2 sacks in that game. I mean, this is the rookie out of Ohio State who's really probably the best story for the Broncos this year. There are guys stepping up. So injuries are a part of the game. Yes, the Broncos have probably got bitten harder with that injury bug than most of the NFL teams, but they all have, and you can't make excuses. As they like to tell you every week, no one's feeling sorry for the Broncos around the NFL. So injuries aside, whoever you got, you still got your quarterback back there. Luckily, that whole COVID protocol, that would have been bad had that. We didn't need that again. So
Kendall Hinton 2.0.
Yeah. We didn't need that again. So I just think injuries. Everyone's got them. No more excuses. You have to beat the Eagles.
And well, let's not jump to that quite yet. But I suppose one thing we haven't really talked about is Teddy Bridgewater. You mentioned the quarterback play, and Teddy's been kind of okay, I would say, the weeks before, but not great. I know he's been battling injuries, but he played a game back on Sunday, and do you think he'll be able to maintain that into Sunday and beyond?
I think so, and I think what really helped him is the running game was great. Everyone's been clamoring, run the football. Devontae Williams, NFL Rookie of the Week this week. Obviously, over 100 yards for the first time. Melvin Gordon had 80, a couple of holding calls away from going 100 as well. Scored a touchdown. Running game really helps set up that passing game, and we saw it. Teddy Bridgewater bombed to Tim Patrick. We haven't seen him really air it out as much. It worked. Everything seemed to click. One thing leads to another. So I think Teddy, he had made a couple mistakes. He had been banged up, but he's still better. It's been better quarterback play than we've seen in still quite a while.
I guess a final thing that I noticed is, admittedly, maybe not the sports mind that you are here, Rod, but felt like third down on Sunday in particular was huge. The Broncos kept coming up these 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9 conversions. Tim Patrick with these huge catches. They were just coming up. It felt like, the steady Teddy mantra that's been around Bridgewater all season. It felt like it was that way on Sunday, wasn't it?
You nailed it. That's been a real Achilles heel of this team. They have really struggled starting slow and struggled on third downs, and they really were able to right those wrongs. It was very good point. It was a huge deal. It made a big difference for Denver. They got to keep that up. And I don't know if they're going to have the success they had last week with the third downs because they were tremendous. But it's got to be somewhere in between at least.
So, all right, should we jump ahead here and get the Rod Stradamus on here? What do you think happens on Sunday?
I think I was sure they were going to beat the Raiders, but I think they absolutely will beat the Eagles. I think it's helping confidence-wise. I truly do. I think they are a better team. Even had they lost to Dallas, as we all thought, most thought would happen, I still think they would have beaten the Eagles. Now they got more confidence, and these guys that have been stepping up seem to have that. They've got some depth at linebacker now. The running game's clicking. There's a lot on the line, and they know it. I think they come out. I think they win by a touchdown.
Touchdown, okay. Yeah. One, I guess, final giddy, potentially getting too far down the rainbow thought here is if you mentioned going to 6-4 into the bye week with a banged up team.
You're not going to go playoffs, are you? That's not where you're going, are you?
I was going to go. Okay, it looks like based on the AFC, 10-7 might do it, right? I mean, 10-7 might get you in, and you're 6/10 of the way there.
Their schedule's tough. Their schedule's really tough. Beat Philadelphia, and then look ahead. Let's see what happens with the Eagles first. Then we can start kind of big picture. They have to beat Philadelphia. Then there'll be some excitement. They lose to Philadelphia, forget it. We're right back where we thought we were. This is a big game.
So this is you going, cool it, Chris. Cool it.
Yeah.
Cool it. Calm down.
Cool the Jets.
All right. I'm just getting excited a little bit because we were, Vaughn had been traded.
See, he was the guy saying Super Bowl after 3-0 too. Cool the Jets, beat the Eagles, and then we'll look ahead.
See, I at least I can admit, I'm just like, you're the objective reporter. I'm just a fan. I'm just the one putting on my Broncos gear on Sunday.
Got to win or we're done. I'm not doing this anymore. Got to win. Better win.
All right, if you're watching Broncos.
Unless they really have to do it, but I don't want. Let's just see the Broncos win this game. It's a big game.
Please win, Broncos, so we can do this again. Rod Mackey, Non-News Sports Director. Chris Bianchi, thanks for joining us here on Non-News Watch. And, I'll say it. Go Broncos.